Remember the 5th of November. Gunpowder, treason and plot. The rhyme used to commemorate Guy Fawkes' attempt to destroy Parliament and the foiling of that attempt. With Guy Fawkes Night coming up, I'd like to talk about how to remember lists of information. Whenever we experience something, it's always in the context of a location. And when you return back to the same place, you can remember what took place last time you were in that particular locale. So locations can be made up of areas around your house, different rooms, different things within those rooms, or it can be landmarks along a journey externally, for example from home to the shops. And each of these landmarks you pass in turn can be used as what we call a memory peg. It's somewhere where you can locate an association with the information you're trying to remember. It's easiest to explain this with an example. So I'm going to take you on a tour around my garden, and then we're going to use those objects in the garden to help remember a list. So we're going to remember a list of 10 objects. So we need 10 locations around the garden. So the first thing we see is a dead tree. Moving on from that, the next thing is the compost bin. After that is my car, a roll of wire netting, the bird table, a mint plant that needs trimming back, it's getting a bit rampant. Then we have the wheelbarrow, the garden gate, the oil storage tank, and the electricity supply pole. So we've got 10 locations now, and we need to associate onto each of those the 10 objects in our list we want to remember. So imagine nailed to the trunk of the tree is an archery target. Sitting on top of the compost bin is a court jester. Spray painting offensive slogans on the side of my car, there's a youth with a spray can. There's a security guard guarding the wire netting. On the bird table, there's a jack in the box, maybe scaring the birds away. Coming to the mint, you see Luke Skywalker with his lightsaber trimming back the plant. And then lying down in the wheelbarrow, minimising the amount of effort he has to do, there's a man there. On the garden gate, we have a flexible gymnast who's doing her routine on the bar across the top of the gate. Then on the oil tank, it's draped with carrier bags from the Co-op supermarket. And lastly, on the electricity supply pipe, there's been a wind turbine installed on top of that to make the energy more sustainable. So just go through those one more time. So an archery target nailed to the tree, a court jester on top of the compost bin, a youth spraying offensive slogans on the side of my car, a security guard guarding the wire netting, a jack in the box on the bird table, Luke Skywalker using the force in his lightsaber to trim back the mint, a man lying in the wheelbarrow minimising the amount of effort he has to do, a flexible gymnast doing her routine on top of the gate, Co-op bags attached to the oil tank, and a sustainable wind turbine on the electricity supply pipe. So now try to go through in your mind and recall the objects associated to each of those locations. So what was associated with the tree? What was associated to the compost bin? What was happening to my car? Who was by the wire netting? What was on the bird table? What was happening to the mint? Who was in the wheelbarrow? Who was on the gate? What was on the oil storage tank? And what had happened to the electricity supply pipe? So hopefully you've been able to remember each of those 10 objects. So why did I choose those particular 10 things? Well, they're actually my associations to, in military strategy, the 10 elements of warfare. The archery target represents selection and maintenance of the aim. The court jester represents maintenance of morale. The offensive slogans being sprayed on the side of my car represent offensive action. The security guard, security. The jack-in-the-box, surprise. Luke Skywalker with his lightsaber, concentration of force. The man lying down in the wheelbarrow, economy of effort. The gymnast, flexibility. The cooperative carrier bags from the co-op, cooperation. And lastly, the wind turbine on top of the supply pole is sustainability. So we've memorised something that you maybe would need to learn if you've gone to Sandhurst for military training, but it's just an example. You could use this for anything. You could use it to memorise anything from a shopping list to a pack of playing cards. So many applications, any list you need to remember, you just take the same basic principle. You don't need to have 10 items, you can have as many items for as long a journey as you like. So for a deck of 52 playing cards, you might have 52 locations. And this is what the memory competitors do in the World Championships. They have lots of different journeys onto which they memorise lots of different pieces of information they have to memorise for the competition. So I hope this has been of interest. So next time you remember a list, think about the method of Loci as a way of achieving that. So I'm going to be back in touch with another instalment of my tips in the next week. Look forward to speaking to you then. Goodbye.